Well, hello everybody, JT Barrett here. Been asked to give kind of a quick rundown on just how much it's cost to set up this whole aquaponic garden. And I'll be honest, I haven't really been keeping track, but it's a matter of a cost versus benefits analysis, so I can totally understand that. So what we're going to do, we're just going to take a look inside my greenhouse. I'm going to let you know what it's cost as best I can, and we'll save the adding things up until I get to editing. Let's go. Alright, let's start at the beginning, I guess. Technically, the greenhouse structure is a hoop house, as I don't really heat it. I've tried a few things with compost, but that doesn't count. It's a polytunnel, which means basically it's a thick film plastic stretched over some PVC pipes. Its footprint is, I believe, 10 feet by 12 feet. And I'd be surprised if it cost me more than, 40 bucks. Let's look at it. These long PVC pipes were $2 each. Got 1, 2, 3, 4 there, so $8 in PVC piping there. We'll say 10 because I've got these here. Now these fixtures maybe run me 75 cents each. So I see 4 of those. So there you go, it's another $3. We're up to 13 so far for the greenhouse. The plastic itself is more expensive if you buy the amount you need than if you buy the whole roll. So I bought the whole roll, paid $26 for that, and have enough to cover this greenhouse twice. So there's this here that's already on, plus I have a spare skin if something happens. So that was, like I said, I think 26 bucks. Let's be generous, let's call it 30. These wider boards here were supplied by the old porch that I had to rip up. There's one on either side and one in the middle. Just kind of a cross brace. Plus I also have a solid frame down at the bottom there, made out of those, that everything kind of sits on. Let's take a look at that from the outside. Here you can get kind of an idea at the doorway what I did there. I just got one board on the outside for an edge, and then a flat board on the inside. I don't know how well you can see it through all those geraniums, but the reason I did that was so that the PVC pipes would have somewhere to rest, because the first time I tried it, they sunk straight into the ground, and I had some pretty interesting issues once it got some rain and snow weight on the roof. The vast majority of the 2x4s used in this construction were free from pipe pallets, and the longer boards here were recycled from a previous greenhouse project. So I don't think recycled materials count as having a cost. That was left over from making my compost tumbler. You can sort of see that back there. So price of that is scrap material. The red tape that you see everywhere fixing all the holes and sealing things up cost me $17 or something like that. It's tuck tape. Basically it's for environmental sealing. So that's it. The whole greenhouse itself, not terribly expensive. Less than a night at the bar. Let's look at the gardens. So looking at this garden here, all of the black pond liner that I have was initially purchased as a single piece that was an offcut. Cost me just under $50 after tax, so we'll say 50 bucks. But I've got it everywhere. I've got some hanging on the back there, sitting in this bed. But anyway, that's $50 that went into this system. Let's see, this bed is built out of those same porch boards and more scrap lumber from the yard. Probably bought, I don't know, 3, 4 of these for the actual plumbing. So that's another $6, $8. So a lot of little tiny purchases that went into this. It's quite an interesting thing to try and think about it all. Let's see, that fixture cost me about $2.50, I think. Again, averaging 75 cents for the fixtures here. So I've got 1, 2 of those. That's 5. 1, 2, 3 fixtures, so that's another $2.25. So that's the basic plumbing costs to get the water in. Let's see, bulkhead fitting, 6 something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fixtures there, averaging 75 cents each. Like I say, that's an average because some of these things cost me, 40 cents, some of these things cost me 90, so whatever. This storage tank here, on sale, I think it was $25 when we picked it up. This Rubbermaid Tote, also on sale, picked up for about $28, I think. I initially picked up this pump here for, I'm going to say mid-70s. We'll say 75, just to kind of average it out. And that has been working every day and night for the last 2 years plus. This bed here probably has about $40 worth of the hydroton clay pellets in it. The strawberries were a couple of bucks. The peppers came from seeds. These mints have been around for 3 years. Most of them are clones. I don't know if that counts as a cost. So that is this garden here. I've probably forgotten things, but there's that. I'll do a total for you and we'll see what we've come up to on that one. Then I guess there's this garden over here. Let's just see here. Airstone, 20 some odd dollars. Smaller pump buried under the duckweed. That one was 40. This half-inch pipe has already been included. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fixtures at 75 cents. And 1 flow regulator at $2.50. That black rubber was part of the same initial purchase. Let's see here. That ice fishing sled that I'm using to grow in was on sale for about $25, give or take. And that tote was also in the neighborhood of 28 bucks. The table was built from recycled materials, so again, no real cost to that. Various plants, most of these came from seeds, like those green onions I planted them from cuttings in February. I've harvested them countless times since. Catmint is wonderfully soothing, so, harvested it many times. So much sage has been taken into the house, it's ridiculous. Even at the end of the season, this is my last dying tomato plant, so the system is productive. But I don't know. Well, I haven't yet done the math to add all that up. I'm betting this whole garden and greenhouse for the last 3 years has probably cost less than the remote control cars I have sitting in the attic. So during editing, I'll stop it here, add it up, give us a total somewhere in here, and that's how much it's cost me to date, as far as parts and stuff like that. Let's see. Benefits. Oh, well, geez. The benefits of aquaponics. I could do a whole different video on that, but I'll try and make this quick. Last year, I kept track of the herbs that we took in from the aquaponics, and it was probably between 5 and 6 pounds. I'd have to check my records to be sure. But that's, all kinds of really savory, better than organic type herbs. The basil, the oregano, all of those assorted mints. So much chives got harvested, green onions harvested. And a lot of those herbs are not cheap when you go to look at them in the organic produce departments. So you've got to kind of be relative when you place a value on what your produce is worth. Is it worth bottom end of the grocery store market produce because you grew it yourself, so you've got to take it with a grain of salt? Is it worth top end of the organic scale pricing for produce because it's coming out of an aquaponic system? That's a really big gray area. But the benefit of me knowing that I'm growing my own food, contributing to what the family is eating, and producing, in my opinion, healthier stuff than we can find for sale, it's a benefit beyond cash value. So I hope this has answered some of those questions in regards to the costs versus the benefits of my aquaponic garden and how it relates to hobbies. Compare it to any other hobby you want, and ultimately I think you'll find it's still pretty cheap, considering I've been at this for 3 years, and that represents the vast majority of what I've spent. Alright, like I say, I hope this helps, and thanks for watching. This is JT Bear saying, have a fantastic day.